Mr. President and distinguished guests, I had written a lot before I came here. I'm going to talk about this, talk about that. My friends have mentioned a lot of things and I can get rid of all that, whatever I'm doing. So I think about that. I was coughing all the time. If there was a God, I'm talking for you, all right? Now I'm comfortable to speak in a language which is obviously not my first language, so think about that. But anyway, what I haven't heard so far is breaking the actual emotion. I mean, God, whose God is it? Is my God, your God, whose God? What's the actual definition? My friend was mentioning before. But at the same time, the concept of God, why does it have to be stagnant? Why does it have to be bogged down by a particular religion? Why? Why cannot have a new form of religion and new understanding, new interpretation, which can be totally far away from whatever we know as religion? And obviously, if you go back in the history, yes, if you go back, doesn't matter how far you go, however distant it is, whatever detached they are, every land in human history has an example of believing in God. And what that God is, well, that's up to you to answer. Now, being a Muslim, obviously, I'm not taking a question. I'm already under too much pressure. Okay, so there are a lot of things that my friends have mentioned. The other thing is, there's a challenge that's thrown at us. Like, mention one thing that people without believing God can do. What religion, faith can do, obviously God is the middle, can do what without faith you cannot do as a moral thing. Imagine someone dying on deathbed. No cure. Science cannot have a cure. Imagine, forget about other issues. He believes in Santa Claus. Although our faith is, if somebody brings a Santa Claus and tells me we rely on that, I would say that's nonsense. Because my morality has not evolved from what Santa Claus says, which is jingle bell, it's not going to happen. But anyway, whatever comes to other things, for example, somebody, as I said, somebody's dying, no cure, no help nothing to help him. Whisper that you have a heaven hereafter. Whisper you have God to love. Whisper you are living a world which is nice, and you are going into which is better. You cannot replace anything to give that man consolation without. You cannot. There is nothing there. And again, religion does various things. For example, you want to unite some people selflessly. Because if I believe this is my only hell of life, well, I love it most than everybody else. So if I want to have a selfless life and save a child from drowning, and if I want to give my life working in Africa for charity, and I think people of charity, people of believers are more engaged in charity, more engaged in selfless work than anybody else. And it has been proven. Now, the question again and again was brought, whether we can be moral without religion, without faith, without God, that is. Well, who is denying that? If you are denying from the example of already prevalent religions, like major religion, Abrahamic faith, for example, you mentioned. All right, in Romans God says clearly, people can be ethical without God. But the question is, will that ethics be sustaining over the period of time, over centuries, over thousands of decades, so that we will not erode from moral standards, and that will cause our ultimate destruction and doom. My friend was saying about history, that it is a development of history. Of course, thank you very much, because history is the greatest teacher. And if you do not take lesson from history will repeat itself to teach you a lesson. because you have to believe in God to do that. Now about obviously, my previous, who finished his course, he was obviously emphasizing on evidence of believing in God as if like believing in some nonsense or whatever. Now, what we are relying on? We are relying on our perceptions, our receptive ideas, like our faulty eyes. We see star which doesn't even exist now, giving the light. We're believing on taste, which we cannot even explain. Sweet, how do you explain? What are the words to substitute and explain someone what sweet is, unless that's someone never tasted sweet. How do you explain that? So that it all needs with feelings. You have to believe in God, and that feeling comes from God. And because morality, and at the other side, becomes everybody's game if you do not rely on morality on the point of God. Now, every religion, at the present, we know that like the biggest religion, we are talking about ancient faiths, ancient books. Okay, go back 1400 years, go back 2000 years. I'm ready to go back even further if you want. 2000 years. Are we better than 2000 years what we were? Are we better now? Are we not killing more people now than we were killing before? We are talking about science. Hasn't science given more curse than blessings if you count one by one? So how are we so proud of the present time? Rather, moral principles, if they evolve with the evolving of religion, whatever the Mayan civilization were, they were throwing people into the bin and killing their as the sacrifice of God. That came down to Abrahamic faith, sacrificing cows and in Moses' time. Then that Exodus said, no, gave Jesus. Then Islam said, no, don't even give Jesus. Develop your own morality. So now, the question is, that does religion go say that you cannot have morality? Yes, you can, but that morality becomes like headless chickens. Everybody interprets his own way. So if you are talking about community developing their own sense of morality, okay. If do you think the majority, whatever the majority of the society thinks should be moral, okay, that's good then. Let's talk about USSR. When USSR, even the October Revolution, the USSR people of Russia went for socialism. And what happened then? The socialism ultimately gave birth to communism, fascism, and they started taking land after land. What happened then? Were they free? Were they happy? Of course not. Though ultimately that atheistic view became destructive. Now you're also saying that genital mutilation and all that about faith. Well, that can be argumented. I'm ready to argue with you another day whether that comes from religion or our own self-made interpretation of morality. That's another day's conversation. No, one thing I want to mention. This is not a debate with God and devil. The picture that I saw, obviously in the debate, that you have Jesus Christ having a fist fight with the devil, which is not true. So I don't consider non-believers as devils. That's what we think this way. But the whisper of bad things, evil things in our heart to do evil things are bad. Now, what is my interpretation, our interpretation of morality, as long as we, Christians, Muslims, atheists, can sit together and interpret for the benefit of each of us morality. Let's take it forward. Who is telling that you have to live a life where you cannot discuss about USA, about India being secular? Okay, India talks about secularism with a charka, Hindu charka in the middle of the map. And what about United States? United States talks about secularism with God in the middle. But anyway, nevertheless, even if God or no God, secularism is perfectly sensible when everybody has the right to believe in everything. But at the same time, when unitedly we can talk about something, then that's the right moral discussion to get into. Right. Sorry. The last point I will move is that Plato mentioned that reasoning behind morality is which has passion, reason, and the other thing. What was it? I forgot what was the other one. Passion, reason, and something else. Whatever. Now, oh yes, admiration. Now, passion. What can be more passionate than believing in God and doing something? Reason. What can be more reasonable than not having any reason? We do good for people without having any reason. We do good because God says so. There's no reason, no admiration. We don't want that admiration. We want admiration from God. That's it. Heaven hereafter, hell hereafter? No. The truly believer does not believe in God because he has a award waiting. This is for somebody ordinary people who want to say carrot dangling in front of them so the chariot can move. This for somebody who doesn't believe. You can ask for any true believer. He will not say that I believe in God because I will go to heaven. Because he will say the ultimate satisfaction, peace I get in my heart. That's the reason for religion. Thank you very much.